Good evening and welcome to the news roundup for Wednesday the 14th of June. Before we get into the news, please remember to like this video, share your views in the comments, and share the video with your family and friends.
Teach them! Always make sure the message reach them!
Now for the news in detail. School administrators at St. James High called an emergency meeting following the theft of documents, including Caribbean Examinations Council papers from the institution last night. The thieves reportedly stole a fire-resistant cabinet from the administrative office in which the examination papers needed for today were being stored. The office was also ransacked. It is not clear what alternative arrangements were made for the affected students. Internal auditors at the Ministry of Labour and Social Security are investigating a suspected fraud scheme targeting the National Insurance Scheme, NIS. Auditors are working to reconcile the figures as the amount paid out exceeds the amount indicated by the pension order books issued by the ministry. The fraudsters appear to have found a way to exploit the system, enabling them to collect significantly more money than they should have. The investigation is ongoing, and the exact period and extent of the fraud are yet to be determined. The ministry has confirmed the investigation and stated that a draft report has been received from internal auditors. However, no conclusive statements will be made until the final report is submitted. The NIS recently increased the pension benefits, with the payments scheduled to begin in phases. The attorney representing Tasha Miller, John Clark, argued in the Court of Appeal that the conduct of Miller's trial had a detrimental effect on the defense's ability to cross-examine witnesses. Clark claimed that the judge's language and tone during the proceedings impacted the fairness of the trial. He contended that crucial questions were disallowed by the judge, who repeatedly instructed the witness not to answer certain queries. Clark emphasized the need to examine the judge's interventions and expressed concern about the court's frequent objections, sometimes in strong language. He asserted that the factors created an impression among the jurors that the court was fully supportive of the prosecution. Additionally, Clark argued that certain pieces of information presented to the jury, such as the use of extortion money to pay lawyers and the killing of 13 relatives of the main witness, were irrelevant and prejudiced the defense's case. He also claimed that inadequate efforts were made to rectify the unfairness related to gang evidence presented at the trial. Miller is seeking to have his 38-year conviction for the 2008 murder of JUTC chairman Douglas Chambers overturned. The prankster who caused a security scare in Oteria St. Anne earlier this month pleaded guilty to malicious communication and creating public mischief when he appeared before the St. Catherine Parish Court on Tuesday. However, Chevron Flores, who is from Old Harbour in St. Catherine, pleaded not guilty to extortion. His attorney told the senior parish judge Desiree Allain that the incident was only a prank and that her client had no intention to cause any problems. He was remanded until July 21st, when the matter will again be mentioned. Flowers was arrested and charged over the June 3 incident. The St. Catherine police say a man who was killed on Brunswick Avenue in Spanish Town on Tuesday morning was in the process of committing predial larceny when he was shot by a licensed firearm holder. The deceased has been identified as 29-year-old Johnny Bailey, unemployed of Tars Meadows, Spanish Town. The police say the complainant was at home asleep when he was awoken by the continuous barking of dogs. He went outside and reportedly saw two men trying to remove sheep from a pen. He called out to the men, and one of them allegedly pointed a firearm at him. He reportedly took evasive action and fired 4 rounds from his licensed firearm. Both men ran, and a search of the premises later revealed one of the men suffering from gunshot wounds. Dwayne Fowler, the driver responsible for a fatal accident in St. Catherine in 2021, has been sentenced to 2 years and 2 months in prison. Despite an impassioned plea for leniency from his attorney, Justice Bertram Morrison deemed it necessary to impose a custodial sentence. Justice Morrison cited Fowler's excessive speeding as the cause of the accident, resulting in the loss of 5 lives. The accident occurred on April 12, 2021, when Fowler's minibus carrying passengers from Manchester to Kingston collided with a truck after a blown-out tire. The impact caused the Fowlers vehicle to overturn on the concrete median. 4 passengers died instantly. Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport Olivia Grange announced that the Sexual Harassment Act will come into effect on Monday, July 3. The legislation aims to address issues of sexual harassment in various contexts, including employment, institutions, and landlord-tenant relationships. The Act covers sexual harassment in workplaces, schools, correctional institutions, nursing homes, medical facilities, and more. Employers and individuals in charge of institutions are reminded of their responsibility to prepare and share the required policy statement within 12 months of the Act's commencement. Meanwhile, a male teacher in St. Catherine, who is accused of sexually assaulting a female colleague on school grounds, has been instructed by a judge to stay away from the complainant for the duration of the case. The complainant informed the court that she was experiencing mental distress and even fainted upon seeing the accused near her. In response, the judge issued a warning to the accused to maintain distance from the complainant. The teacher's attorney stated that he would communicate with the school's administration to address the situation. The accused was granted bail and is scheduled to appear in court again on October 19th. The allegations involved the male teacher luring his female colleague into the school's woodwork room where he allegedly touched her inappropriately. The woman managed to escape and reported the incident to the police, leading to the arrest and subsequent charge of the accused for indecent assault. The Financial Services Commission (FSC) has stated that the ongoing legal disputes involving Stocks and Securities Limited (SSL) have hindered its efforts to address the concerns of SSL clients and the stakeholders affected by the alleged fraud. Usain Bolt's legal team has called for updates on the investigations and threatened to involve the international media in highlighting Bolt's experience as a victim of the fraud. The FSC, which took temporary management of SSL in January, has conducted a significant investigation and is collaborating with various law enforcement agencies based on its findings. The FSC expressed confidence that updates on the investigations will be provided to the public in due course, while ensuring that the information does not prejudice the ongoing probe. Court hearings regarding the validity of SSL's actions and the FSC's application to dissolve SSL are scheduled for July. Bolt and another client have filed separate lawsuits against SSL, which are being heard together. Former wealth advisor Jean Panton is facing multiple fraud charges in connection with the SSL investigations. Head of the Area 1 Police, Assistant Commissioner Clifford Chambers, has revealed that there is heightened surveillance at Jamaica Sports in response to a significant increase in the flow of drugs into Jamaica. In recent weeks, several people have been caught trying to smuggle cocaine through the island's 2 main international airports. ACP Chambers said the security agencies seized more than 1,600 kilograms of cocaine since the start of the year. He believes drug traffickers are trying to take advantage of Jamaica's central location to move cocaine to other markets. Foreign Affairs Minister Kamina Johnson-Smith has stated that there is no indication that the consulate of Jamaica in Port-au-Prince was the intended target of the recent gang attack in Haiti. As a result of the attack on a business establishment located within the same compound as the consulate, consular services in Haiti has been suspended indefinitely. Johnson-Smith mentioned that no requests have been made for the evacuation of consulate staff at this time. In business, the Bank of Jamaica has announced that it will extend its opening hours from June 15 to June 23rd to facilitate the exchange of old banknotes for new polymer banknotes. During this period, the bank will be open from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. to accommodate customers. To exchange old banknotes at the Bank of Jamaica, individuals must have a valid government-issued photo identification, a taxpayer registration number, and source of funds documentation for transactions exceeding US $1,000 or its equivalent in other foreign currency. The BOJ will verify and authenticate the old banknotes before facilitating an exchange. Mutilated and contaminated old series banknotes will also be exchanged according to the bank's guidelines. Both the old and new banknotes will coexist as legal tender, and the old series will remain in circulation until further notice from the BOJ. The BOJ's banking hours will revert to 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. starting on June 26th. On the international scene, a 13-year-old boy has been arrested in Bosnia after allegedly shooting and injuring a teacher inside an elementary school. The teacher, who also served as assistant headmaster, sustained serious injuries and was undergoing surgery. No students were harmed in the incident. The motive behind the shooting has not been disclosed by the police, but local officials confirmed that the boy had been expelled from the school earlier in the year due to unruly behavior. A local politician claimed that the boy had previously made threats of revenge. The shooting follows 2 recent mass shootings in Serbia, which have raised concerns about the availability of weapons in the region. And in sports, Jamaica's national senior men's football team head coach is anticipating a challenging encounter against Qatar in a friendly international match in Austria. Both teams are preparing for the upcoming Gold Cup tournament. Hal Grimson acknowledges that Qatar, the host of the 2022 FIFA World Cup, is determined to win. Qatar will participate in its second consecutive CONCACAF tournament after reaching the semi-finals of the 2021 Gold Cup. Al Grimson recognizes the possibility of facing Qatar again in the knockout stages of the Gold Cup, but his immediate focus is on the upcoming match. And that is it for your news roundup for today. We would appreciate you liking this video, leaving a comment, and sharing the video with your family and friends. Have a good evening and see you next time.